तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll get started. So we are continuing the sixth part of the first words of the first chapter of Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadasya yatonvayaditarataschaर्थेषु abhigyasvarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yatsuraya Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisham Dhamna Svena Sadan Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Translation. O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire and land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of three modes of nature, appearing factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So, today we shall be continuing with the sixth part, which mainly talks about Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. I meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. So, this portion of the verse is talking about the abode of the Supreme Lord, Dhamna. So let's try to understand what is the meaning of Dham, the residence of Lord. Dham is a place where Krishna resides. And because Krishna is the Supreme Lord, he can be present in more than one places simultaneously. And where Krishna resides, that place is called Vrindavan. So it's possible for the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna to reside in more than one places simultaneously. In fact, what to speak of residing in more than one places, there is no place in the material or in the spiritual realm where the Lord is not residing. We understand from Brahma Samhita, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna is residing in each and every atom of this creation. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. He is not only situated in each and every atom, but even in between the space between the two atoms, he is eternally residing. But still, the place where Krishna is perceived to be present, that place is specifically called Dhama. So in that sense, Vrindavan is a place where Krishna eternally is perceived to be performing pastimes. Now when you talk about Vrindavan, there are two kinds of Vrindavan. According to scripture, there are two kinds of Vrindavan. One is Bhauma Vrindavan and other is Avyakta, or the Para Vrindavan, or the Vrindavan in Paravyoma, which is called Goloka Vrindavan. So Bhauma Vrindavan means, we know, there are the Vrindavan in India, 180 kilometers south of Delhi. There's a place called Vrindavan. So that place is the eternal abode of Lord Sri Krishna. Now one may say, well, we have heard that Krishna was living there, but now he's no more living there. No, that is not the way to understand the Dham. In Dham, Krishna eternally resides in two ways. One is Vyakta and other is Avyakta. So, Avyakta means is called unmanifest. He is present, but he cannot be perceived by these charmachakshus or eyes. So that presence of Krishna is called unmanifest. But Krishna sometimes is manifest. Like 5,000 years ago, Krishna was performing his pastimes in Vrindavan, and everyone could see him. Even demons could go there and they could see Krishna there. So that was a manifest pastimes of Krishna. And Krishna is still residing in Vrindavan and performing all those pastimes, but in an unmanifest form. And then Goloka Vrindavan is an abode which is unmanifest to all of us. We are not able to see with these eyes, and it is, beyond this material creation. So we are not able to even perceive any possible way that abode in our conditioned state. So Vrindavan is called Dham, eternal abode of the Supreme Lord. And then there is also different holy Dhamas where the Lord in his different forms eternally resides. So Vrindavan is one Dham, but different incarnations of Krishna manifested their forms in different places. So for example, in Tirupati, the Lord is eternally residing as Lord Venkateshwara. Similarly, the Lord is eternally residing as Lord Narasimhadev in Ahobilam. Similarly, Krishna eternally resides in Navadvip as well as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And specifically, there is an injunction in scriptures saying that Navadvip and Vrindavan, they are considered non-different. Because Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is no difference between Krishna and Krishna Chaitanya. Similarly, there is no difference between Vrindavan and Navadvip. Now, of course, these are the holy places which are outside. We can visibly see those places. Therefore, they are called Dhamas. But most essentially, this body of ours and the mind is also considered as Dhama, because Krishna eternally resides in the mind of every living entity. Ishvara sarva bhutana hriday deshi arjuna tishtati. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara, that Supreme Lord, is eternally residing. Ishvara sarva bhutana hriday deshi arjuna tishtati. That Supreme Ishvara is residing in everyone's heart, in the region of heart. Hriday Deshe Arjuna Dishtati. So Krishna is telling Arjun, my dear Arjun, the Supreme Lord resides in the region of heart for every living entity. It's not in the heart. Krishna says, Hriday Deshe, in the region of heart. So even if the heart transplant takes place, Krishna can reside there because Krishna is not dependent on the sitting place of the heart. Heart is not like a chair where Krishna has to sit, Paramatma has to sit, our soul has to sit there. No. They exist in that region. Or even if the heart is transplanted, they still remain there. So Lord eternally resides in the body of every living entity in the region of heart. So this heart of ours is supposed to be a Dhamma, a holy place, because Krishna eternally resides there. But in the conditioned state, living entities, they cover their heart with so much pollution. Just like, sometimes if you go to places like Vrindavan, you see a lot of filth, a lot of dirt there. Especially when Srila Prabhupada, initially started bringing his disciples from Europe and America. So they had a lot of, amazing ideas about Vrindavan. Oh, Vrindavan must be a very beautiful and, very attractive looking place. But when they went to Vrindavan, they could see the dirty lanes, garbage piles, very unclean. So, many of them, they actually had their ideas about Dham completely shattered. I remember Vaishana Swami Maharaj used to tell, Vaishana Maharaj is from Vrindavan, New Vrindavan actually. He lives in New Vrindavan in West Virginia. So he used to tell us that when he was introduced to Krishna consciousness in early 70s, he had never been to Vrindavan in India, but he had heard a lot about Vrindavan. So whenever he heard any of Prabhupada's disciples went to Vrindavan and came back, he would eagerly go to meet them and talk to them. He would ask them, how is Vrindavan? And somehow, whomever he talked to, the person would not give a very positive review. Say, oh, Vrindavan is very dirty, a lot of mosquitoes there. You will get sick. Water is so, weird or very hard water. It spoils your stomach. So people would give all kinds of negative reviews, discouraging him. So much so, Vaishana Maharaj was telling one time that he was telling me that he actually he stopped actually visiting or asking anyone about Vrindavan. So whenever he would hear now, if somebody has come from Vrindavan, he had eagerness to go and talk about Vrindavan, but he was afraid that they will again tell me some negative reviews. Until unless he actually met another devotee named Radhanath Swami. He's also Prabhupada disciple. So when he met, actually devotees told him, if you want to really hear the glories of Vrindavan, then you should go and talk to Radhanath Swami. He lived there and he also knows, the spiritual glories of Vrindavan. So Vaishana was saying he was still afraid, but because he heard that, then he actually approached Radhanath Swami. When he started talking to Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he actually became so much attracted. So from this we understand, he became actually very much attracted to Vrindavan Dham. More and more, because he heard the glories described by Radhanath Swami to him, which actually increased his hankering to go to Vrindavan. So this is actually very crucial. Vrindavan Dham is a spiritual abode of the Lord, where Lord eternally resides. It is not a physical some place where you can buy a ticket and go and see the place. You may go to Vrindavan by buying a ticket, but you will not be able to see Vrindavan until unless you have somebody who can reveal the Dham to you. So Guru or a spiritual master is the one person who is considered to be the revealer of the Dham. One should never ever go to holy place or Dham on his own, because the person will end up seeing only the external things and will commit offenses. And committing offenses, the Dham becomes more and more hidden from our eyes. Then a person will go and see only the pigs, the dogs, street dogs, the dirty lanes, garbage piles, open sewage canals. That's all a person will be able to see. And his aversion to Dham will actually go on rising, because that offenses makes a person averse to all the spiritual substance. So, if one wants to really see the Dham, one has to take shelter of a Guru or a spiritual master who can reveal the Dham. So, therefore, it is very crucial to actually have the shelter of a spiritual master. So, spiritual master not only can reveal Dham to us, he can also reveal the presence of the Lord in our own heart. This is actually very crucial to understand. The spiritual master can even make us understand how the Lord resides in our heart, and he can reveal the presence of Lord in our heart. Go to the next one. Now, in this verse, it is said, Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam. Nirasta kuhakam means it is a place which is always free from illusions. Now, this world is always filled with illusions. How do we understand that this world is full of illusions? Because in this world you will see everyone is more or less, illusioned, in the sense that people take the things which are not really true granted for being truth. As we discussed already in the beginning of this verse, how even the greatest demigods are illusion, thinking themselves to be the supreme. Similarly, everyone in this world is more or less illusion, because this world is called a world of illusion. We take this body to be, as ourself. So we think that this body is actually me, which is really not. We are spirit soul. Similarly, we think, oh, this home is actually mine. The bank balance that I have is mine. My wife and children, they are all mine. That's another illusion. But the fact is, nothing really belongs to me. Forget about everything else. Even this body doesn't belong to me. But everyone in this world, more or less, is illusioned, thinking that this body is me, not mine. They think body is me, and everything relationship to body is actually mine. And we take it for granted. For example, may think this home that I have is eternal. That's another illusion. Actually, everything in this creation is deteriorating. The moment it is created, it starts deteriorating. For example, this body, as soon as it takes birth, it starts deteriorating. And the science explains. In this body, there are cells which are being degenerated, and there are cells which are being regenerated. Every moment, millions of cells are degenerated, millions of cells are regenerated. So we apparently see a child is growing because the process of regeneration is faster than the process of degeneration. Therefore, it appears to be that the child is actually growing. And at a certain point, the process of degeneration, it starts excelling the process of regeneration. That's when we say the old age starts creeping in. You see, the person reaches to the prime youth, and from prime youth stays for some time, and then you see all of a sudden the hair start turning gray, the wrinkles start appearing, the digestion doesn't work very well, the teeth start falling off, because the process of degeneration starts excelling. If somebody had microscope, if you had microscopic vision, you could actually see that even the walls around us, everything, even this desk or everything that is around us, if you could have microscopic vision, you could see how the cells are being degenerated. But we think this place is eternal. So this is a kind of illusion. But there are innumerable illusions in this material creation. But that Dham, the spiritual abode of the Lord, is always free from illusions. Of course, we do not have access to the spiritual world, with our mundane, these senses, or even whatever resources we have at our disposal. We cannot approach the Dham. So how can we confirm this statement that the Dham of the Lord is always free from illusion? How do we confirm that? The proof we can have is when a person actually is able to perceive the Dham within the heart which is transformed into Dham. That actually gives the proof of this statement. Because when a person is able to see Krishna within his own heart, that person automatically becomes free from all illusions of this world. Because that person's heart becomes Dham. He is able to see Krishna there. That person is actually the proof of the statement that we are reading today. The Dham is free from all illusions. Therefore, a devotee who can see Krishna within his own heart and the heart of everyone else, such a devotee actually becomes free from all the illusions. We have the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, though he was the son of a very, very powerful demon, it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam when Hiranyakashipu would raise his eyebrows like this. All the devas, the most powerful demigods, would tremble in fear. But Prahlad Maharaj was completely fearless in the presence of his father and would fearlessly explain to his father the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. So there are certain symptoms of illusion. A person who is free from illusion does not have any fear. Because fear is a symptom of illusion, as Bhagavatam explains. Bhayam dutiya nidhi Bhayam dutiya viniveshatya. Bhaya is nothing but the result of delusion or illusion. Bhayam dutiya. Dutiya means illusion, duality. Duality means to take it granted something for something that is not. Like we take this thing, this body is myself, but that's not the reality. So this is duality and it's illusion. So a person who is free from all the illusions is only a person who can see Krishna within his own heart. So therefore, a Bhagavata or Mahabhagavata, a devotee of the Lord, is actually the proof, walking and talking proof of the statement that we are reading, that Dham is free from all illusions. Now one may ask this question, what is wrong with remaining in illusion? Because I feel good, right? If I continue to think I'm this body and all the things that I possess, they are actually mine, it gives me some sense of happiness. So what is wrong with that illusion? The problem is the illusion that a person may carry over does not last forever. All the illusions are like a magic show. Every magic show must come to an end. Similarly, all the illusions, they must come to an end. And when the illusion ends, it causes tremendous unhappiness. So a person may think, I am going to live forever. Like Chanakya Pandit says, a fool should think that he's going to live forever. But an intelligent man should meditate that he's going to die next moment. So a fool, when he thinks, I'm going to live forever, then he can actually enjoy the life. But that illusion, that foolishness comes to an end, because when the time of death comes, that illusion is gone. I'm not going to live forever. Now, soon I'm going to die. In fact, death is upon me. So, the end of illusion causes tremendous unhappiness. And death, the death is one phenomena in this world which actually ends or finishes all illusions a person has created around him. But actually, the most amazing thing is death itself is an illusion. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we as a spirit soul, we have neither birth nor we have death. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. So I as a spirit soul, I neither take birth nor I die. So death itself is actually an illusion. And that illusion brings tremendous unhappiness to people who have accumulated, heaps and heaps of illusions. Sense of proprietorship is another form of illusion. I think I possess certain things. I think I possess this home. I am the proprietor of this home. I think I am proprietor of this bank balance that I have. I think I am proprietor of, this family. The wife and children, they are mine. It's also another illusion and makes one unhappy. If I was really proprietor, then, for example, if a person is really proprietor, then nobody can take away the thing from him. But the very fact, suppose, I may say I own this home, but if I have mortgage on it, I'm not really the proprietor, because I can lose it any time. If I can't pay, my mortgage for 2 months, third month I'm out from here, right? So actually speaking, no one in this world is proprietor. And even if somebody owns the home, or buildings or businesses, has millions of dollars. Still, when the death comes, he's kicked out. He's kicked out of that position, and therefore, he's not the real proprietor. When Alexander, he was about to die, he actually made an announcement that when they carry his dead body, the coffin, they generally take the Muslims and Christians, they have the tradition to put in the coffin the dead body and then bury it, So he said, make sure that the coffin has openings and both of my hands should be outside of the coffin. And nobody could understand why it's like that. But he wanted to show to the whole world. Though I'm the Alexander the Great, but I'm going empty-handed. When I'm going empty-handed. I'm leaving everything behind. So actually speaking, nobody is the proprietor. It's only sense of illusion a person thinks that he's a proprietor. Sense of well-wisher to others. I am somebody's well-wisher. At least, a person may think, I'm well-wisher of my wife, my children, my family, my community, my nation. So this sense of being a well-wisher for others is another kind of illusion that also makes a person very unhappy. Why? Because no one in this world can satisfy anyone 100%. You cannot satisfy anyone 100%. Srila Prabhupada, we found of giving examples of Kennedy and Gandhi. You see, John F. Kennedy was one of the excellent presidents who was actually the true well-wisher of the country the United States had. So he was a well-wisher of the country, and yet he was killed. He was killed by his own country's men. Not that somebody came from outside. His own country people killed him. That means, even though he considered himself to be well-wisher of the country, there were some people who were not satisfied with him. Not to speak of Gandhi. Because now the different history is coming up, but all these while people used to consider that Gandhi was actually the well-wisher of the country. He actually got the freedom for the nation. He fought, at least he fought. Apparently he made a show of fighting for the country. But after the so-called independence, he was not happy. He was always miserable. And people of the country, they were miserable with him. So much so that one person actually in great frustration and hatred killed him. So actually speaking, even if a person considers himself well-wisher of anyone or considers anyone else to be his own well-wisher, that is bound to bring frustration. Because we cannot be true well-wishers to anyone. And last but not the least is sense of enjoyer. I am the enjoyer. Proprietor, enjoyer, well-wisher. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Bhuktaram yajya tapasa sarvalokam heshwaram suhridam sarvabhutana gyatva mam shantim nichchati. So somebody thinking that I am the enjoyer, these things are meant for my enjoyment. Anything in this world is meant for my enjoyment, is bound to bring unhappiness. Because enjoyment is done through senses. For example, I want to eat nice food. So that is done through tongue. I want to be glorified. So that is done through ears. People should talk nice glories to me. So in this way, all the so-called happiness in this world is done through the five senses. The sense of seeing, sense of hearing, sense of smelling, sense of tasting, and sense of touching. But senses are never satiated. I may keep eating, delicious thing, but at some point in time, stomach is full, but my tongue is not satisfied. So I do either two things: either stop. The tongue is not satisfied, but I have to stop because stomach is full. And if I don't stop, I have to finally stop with stomach being upset, which brings unhappiness. So whether, I immediately stop or I stop after delay, it eventually brings unhappiness. So all these are nothing but different forms of illusions, which brings unhappiness. Unhappiness is invariably something that comes in everyone's life, because this world is not a place for happiness, but one who makes his heart as a dham. That means a person who can perceive Krishna within his own heart. How can we perceive Krishna within our own heart? There's a process for it. So if we follow the process and we actually are able to see Krishna within our own heart, then our heart becomes a dham. It becomes free from all illusions, and in this way we actually become free from all unhappy conditions of life. Because illusion is the source of unhappiness. In that way we actually become truly happy. So the easiest way to invite the Lord in our heart is simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this way we can actually have Krishna reside in our heart and thus make us free from all the illusions. Actually, this process of chanting Hare Krishna is one of the most potent forms of realizing the presence of Krishna within our heart. So with this, we will stop here. If anyone has any questions, you may ask. Hare Krishna.